No. It's just one word, two letters. So why is it so hard to say sometimes? Have you ever found yourself nodding along and saying yes to something you really didn't want to do? Maybe it was staying late at work again, lending money you couldn't spare, or going to a party when all you wanted was a quiet night in. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. This is a common struggle, and it's rooted deep in our psychology. Today, we're going to dive into the minds of people pleasers and uncover the real reasons why saying no can feel like an impossible task. We'll explore where this comes from, how it affects our lives, and most importantly, what we can do to reclaim our power and start saying yes to ourselves. So, what's really going on in our brains when we're faced with a request? For many, the inability to say no stems from a deep-seated fear of rejection. We're social creatures, hardwired for connection. From an evolutionary perspective, being part of a group was essential for survival. Being ostracized could literally mean a death sentence. While we're no longer running from saber-toothed tigers, that ancient part of our brain, the amygdala, still lights up at the threat of social rejection. Saying no can feel like we're risking our place in the tribe. We worry that people won't like us, that they'll think we're selfish, unhelpful, or unkind. This fear can be so powerful that we'd rather sacrifice our own time, energy, and even happiness just to avoid that potential conflict or disapproval. It's a subconscious drive to maintain social harmony at all costs, even if the cost is our own well-being. Another major factor is a misplaced sense of responsibility. People who can't say no often feel overly responsible for other people's feelings. They think, if I say no, they'll be disappointed, and it will be my fault. This is a cognitive distortion known as emotional reasoning, where you assume your negative emotions reflect the way things really are. You feel guilty, so you must have done something wrong. This mindset puts you in a constant state of trying to manage everyone else's emotions, which is an exhausting and impossible job. You're not responsible for how someone else reacts to your boundaries. A healthy adult can handle disappointment. By always saying yes to avoid making someone unhappy, you're not only neglecting your own needs, but you're also subtly disrespecting the other person's ability to manage their own feelings. Our childhood experiences also play a huge role in shaping our ability to set boundaries. Did you grow up in a household where you were rewarded for being compliant and agreeable? Perhaps you were the good kid who never caused trouble. Maybe your parents or caregivers had very high expectations, and seeking their approval meant always saying yes. In some families, expressing your own needs or disagreeing with others was seen as disrespectful or selfish. We learn these patterns early on. If we were taught that our value comes from being helpful and accommodating, we carry that belief into adulthood. We internalize the message that our needs are secondary to the needs of others. This isn't about blaming our parents. They were likely doing the best they could with what they knew. It's about understanding the roots of our behavior so we can start to unlearn these unhelpful patterns and create new, healthier ones. So we've talked about the why. Now let's talk about the consequences. Constantly saying yes when you want to say no is a direct path to burnout. Your time and energy are finite resources. When you give them all away to others, you have nothing left for yourself. This can lead to chronic stress, exhaustion, and a feeling of being completely overwhelmed. Your own goals, hobbies, and even your health can fall by the wayside. You might start to feel a growing sense of resentment, not just towards the people asking things of you, but also towards yourself for not standing your ground. This resentment can poison your relationships and your own self-esteem. You might feel like a doormat, that people are taking advantage of you, and that can lead to feelings of powerlessness and even depression. The short-term comfort of avoiding conflict by saying yes ultimately leads to long-term pain and dissatisfaction. Okay, let's get practical. How do we break this cycle? It starts with a fundamental shift in mindset. You need to give yourself permission to have boundaries. Repeat after me. My needs are valid. My time is valuable. It is okay to say no. Recognizing your own worth is the first and most crucial step. You are not a bad person for having limits. In fact, setting boundaries is a form of self-respect and self-care. It's about honoring your own capacity. Think of it like a phone battery. You can't keep it running at 100% all the time. giving its power away to every app that wants it. It needs to be recharged. You need to be recharged. Boundaries are your personal charging station. They ensure you have enough energy for the things that truly matter to you. Once you've accepted that it's okay to say no, you need some tools to actually do it. You don't have to be harsh or aggressive. A simple, polite no is often enough. Try phrases like, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I can't commit to that right now." Or, "I'm not able to help with that, but I wish you the best of luck." Notice you don't need to give a long, elaborate excuse. Jade, justify, argue, defend, or explain is a common trap. Over-explaining can sometimes sound like you're unsure of your decision, which might invite the other person to try and persuade you. A clear, concise no is more powerful. If you feel you must offer a reason, keep it simple. "I have a prior commitment," which can even be a commitment to yourself to rest. Another powerful technique is to buy yourself time. When you feel put on the spot, it's easy to default to yes. Instead of giving an immediate answer, say something like, "Let me check my calendar and get back to you," or "I need to think about that for a bit." This gives you the space to step away from the pressure of the moment. You can then genuinely assess your availability, your energy levels, and whether you truly want to do what's being asked. This pause allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting out of fear or obligation. It puts you back in the driver's seat, allowing you to make a conscious choice that aligns with your own needs and priorities. What if you're worried about damaging the relationship? It's a valid concern. The key here is to differentiate between people who respect your boundaries and those who don't. A healthy relationship is a two-way street. Someone who truly cares about you will understand and respect your limits, even if they're a little disappointed. They value you as a person, not just for what you can do for them. And if someone gets angry, guilt trips you, or pushes back aggressively when you say no, it's a major red flag. This person's reaction is not about you. It's about their own issues with control or entitlement. In these cases, setting a boundary is even more critical for your well-being. It might be difficult, but it filters out relationships that are based on utility rather than genuine connection. Let's wrap this up. The journey from being a people pleaser to a person who can confidently set boundaries is not an overnight trip. It's a practice. It requires courage, self-awareness, and a lot of self-compassion. You will feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel guilty. That's okay. Those feelings are old habits dying hard. Every time you successfully say no to something that doesn't serve you, you are casting a vote for yourself. You are reinforcing the message that your well-being matters. You are teaching others how to treat you by showing them what you will and will not accept. You are building self-trust and self-respect, which are the foundations of a happy and fulfilling life. Start small. Say no to one small thing this week. See how it feels. Notice that the world doesn't end. The person probably survives. And you? You'll feel a little lighter, a little more in control, and a lot more like your authentic self. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope this has been helpful. If you've ever struggled with saying no, please share your experience in the comments below. Let's support each other. And if you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future content. Take care of yourselves, and remember, it's okay to say no.